Hi subscribers, I'm Thank the Bear. Not really sure when, but played Noire, which is one of the newest games I have played recently. And then I had some things to say about it, but I wasn't really sure how. So I hired somebody to do it for me. It was a slow night, one of those where I almost wish some schlub would come crashing through the door, begging for me to spy on his cheating wife. The only thing to do was check the day's mail. My line of work has led me to being accustomed with just about everything. This, however, was new. Some jerk was requesting a game review, whatever that is. Not exactly my forte, but a buck is a buck. L.A. Noire is a video game made by Rockstar Games, the developers of the popular and formerly controversial Grand Theft Auto series. It takes place at a time when Los Angeles was still growing, at a time when the country itself sought reinvention. While I'm more familiar with Rockstar's supremely underappreciated beat-em-up adaptation and prequel to The Warriors, I went into this as a passing interest. L.A. Noire was always something I figured would be up my alley, but for whatever reason I didn't play it until this year. But I'm happy to say I did. It's action-heavy and similar to an adventure game, in which the player must solve cases that make up an extendedly woven plot, with the city holding a fairly open world. And that plot is a good one. Corruption, mobsters, blow, that sort of thing. And the action moments are just the right kind of over the top, fitting into the cinematic quality of the story. It tells a unique tale I never thought it dragged its feet. Gameplay-wise, the best part is the police work. You get to pick up clues, question witnesses, follow leads, and track down the bad guys. Now, as a person who has solicited his fair share of confessions, I have to say the interrogation scenes aren't exactly realistic. But once I understood what they wanted from me, the end result is pretty slick. Staring down a perp and trying to break him down is just great, if a bit too simplistic. Same with the action. The sort of mini-games augment the main investigations, but they're quick with decent enough controls so they don't seem like unwanted interruptions. And when it gets going, it really feels like playing a movie. And if the player screws it up a few too many times, the game gives them the option of skipping to the next part. I wish Daft had given me that much freedom. Even after a few years, L.A. Noire looks amazing. Whatever I'm supposed to call the graphics, the way they capture the actors' performances really enhances the emotion and it sticks out to me compared to other games. The lush cityscape is pretty big and it shows they really wanted to provide an environment to accentuate the story, with little details and nods that I always like seeing. The music of the game is what it should be, lots of old jazz and a score that ain't half bad either. Right from the get-go, the game never lets down, its tone is applied generously throughout. Let me say it does what it does. It's a video game styled after those old films. But they didn't settle for just that. But I think this game gets a bad rap. It seems like people figured this game would be GTA in the 1950s. And when it wasn't, they acted slighted, like their sugar daddies cut them off, leaving them to work the streets. It has lots of optional stuff to do, but personally I didn't care for the side missions. I just wanted to see more of the plot and the characters. And while I'm at it, one of the reasons the game succeeds is because of its hero, Cole Phelps, an ambitious cop who has to deal with his tormented past. Phelps is a handsome jack who is truly flawed, and the audience never knows what to make of him. This is a very interesting thing for them to pull off. The secondary characters are also well done, and everyone benefits from the fantastic voice acting and face acting. The trend nowadays of supposedly choice-determined plots is refreshing to have something that says, this is the story. Take it or leave it. I'm not against that sort of thing, especially if it's done right. It somehow represents adventure games better than, well, adventure games. When I kicked back and wanted to myself, I had to give L.A. Noire my personal recommendation, and hey, it can be bought for cheap. The way it is to me, L.A. Noire is like a nightcap with a low ball. It doesn't try to be anything else. It's just straight up honesty in a dishonest age. Money well spent! Or that was stupid. Not sure which. Anyway, Tulip. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Meh.